popping up on that surfboard. It looks easy, but you need balance. So where are you going to learn? How about right here? So you can do more of this and less of that. Part 1 of the C4 Waterman Tips and Techniques, Standing Up. Starting off with the basics, Brian Kalon is going to show us how it's done on the beach here. First, he uses his paddle across the board, and with his hands he stabilizes. Then he brings one foot up at a time, just about to the paddle. And when he's ready to stand up, he uses that paddle to his advantage. Placing the blade against the surface of the water, it acts as leverage and also additional support in balancing. You see him shaking his hips? It's not the hula, he's mimicking the water. Speaking of the water, here's Todd Bradley doing the same technique, but this time out in the water. Notice how he brings one foot forward at a time and then utilizes the paddle to help him stand up and maintain balance. Also notice here how Todd's looking out at the horizon and not his feet. That will help maintain your balance. Moving on to other techniques and styles of standing up on your board, Dave Parmenter is going to show us how to just hop right up on there to your feet. When you're starting this off, you may want to use your knees like Todd Bradley demonstrates here. This is a pretty easy technique, but the important part here is that he holds on to the paddle and stands up while holding the paddle. Let's take another look at that. Notice how he doesn't let go of the paddle stays in his hand. Now Dave's going to show us a technique of standing up while the board's in motion. Notice how he just pops right up on his feet from a kneeling position. If you want to paddle out to the surf using your arms, just tuck that paddle underneath your chest. There's a proper way to do this here. You put the blade just barely underneath your chest so you don't put too much pressure on the joint, and you got to make sure your T-bar is pointing up. Here's an example. This is your paddle, and on the profile there's a little bit of an angle in it. Now this is a surfer laying on the paddle in a proper position. Now, this is upside down, and it puts pressure on the joint right there where the little electric stuff is flashing. And so when you lay on it, that's bad because you're going to break your paddle. So this is good and this is bad. Now back to reality. Now imagine you've paddled out to the surf and you want to stand up and get ready to go catch a wave. Well, you put that paddle in one hand right along the rail, lock yourself up, stabilize, and start paddling. Let's take a look at how that works in action. Dave is demonstrating with the paddle underneath his chest. While he's moving, grabs the paddle with his hand and stands right up. Yes, there are many ways to stand up on a stand-up paddle surfboard, but one thing holds true. If you don't hold on to that paddle while you stand up, you're going to have to bend back over to grab it, and that's going to make you lose your balance and fall over. And that will wrap up part 1 of the tips and techniques brought to you by C4 Waterman. I'm your host, Tommy Stokes, saying aloha, all right. Coming soon, a new DVD about stand-up paddle surfing. Pre-order yours now.
Again, you want your head centered, you want your top centered, and you want your bottom to move. You want your hips to move. Anything whacks view from underneath, you want your hips to move around.
Stay away from crowded areas so you don't hurt them and yourself.
Right now we're going to take a look at the types of equipment we use in stand-up paddle surfing.
The degrees on a blade are very important.
You don't have to be the little skinny girl. Us big girls can get on it too. And trust me, we should all do it.
You got to know the reef lineups. You look for the shallow spots and just kind of hang on them.
For the racing part of it, a lot of times you can get right on the back of the biggest swells and ride along as far as you can.
Get out there. You never know. This might be your thing in life. You don't want to miss your thing in life. You want to get it. Get it early.
Pre-order your copy now at c4waterman.com.